Hi, my name is Melissa, and today we're going to talk about sex education in the United States. In 1918, in reaction to World War I, the Chamberlain Act mandated that soldiers be educated on how to prevent contracting syphilis and gonorrhea, and a year later, the U.S. Department of Labor's Children's Bureau released a report suggesting that sex education in school could have better protected soldiers from STIs. In the 1920s, sex education was introduced in high schools, but it would be another decade until the U.S. Office of Education published its first sex education materials and trained teachers. The 1930s and 40s brought human sexuality courses to colleges. In 1956, Sweden was the first country to mandate sex education in all schools and presented the information with a positive approach to sexuality. Enter the sexual revolution. The Sexuality Information and Education Council of the U.S. is founded in 1964, and the U.S. Department of Education gave NYU a grant to develop graduate programs for training sex education teachers in 1968. For every movement, there's an equal and opposite anti-movement, and through the 1960s and 70s, sexuality education became a political issue, and parents started to protest in schools, and in 1981, the Adolescent Family Life Act was passed, funding chastity and abstinence-only education. Though the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s stressed the importance of proper sexual education, bringing about a mandate for AIDS education in every state by the mid-1990s, the abstinence-only education lobbyists pushed schools to facilitate little to no discussion about the school social aspects of sexuality and absolutely no discussion of the big four taboos: abortion, contraception, homosexuality, and masturbation. In 1983, the World Health Organization endorsed the belief Sweden had already held for decades at that point that, quote, every person has a right to receive sexual information and to consider accepting sexual relationships for pleasure as well as procreation. In 1993, the Supreme Court ruled that federally funded sex education programs must delete direct references to religion. A year later, U.S. Surgeon General Jocelyn Elders endorsed teaching about masturbation and was subsequently forced to resign. The Welfare Reform Act of 1996 and in 2000, the Special Projects of Regional and National Significance Community-Based Abstinence Education provided tens of millions of dollars to abstinence-only programs. In 2004, the Waxman Report showed that such programs contain inaccurate and misleading information. In 2006, the Government Account Office found that most abstinence-only programs were not actually reviewed for scientific accuracy before funding and implementation. The 2007 Trenholm study found abstinence programs to be ineffective at changing young people's sexual behaviors, and UNAIDS and the WHO found abstinence programs to be ineffective at preventing HIV. In 2008, President Bush requested $242 million for abstinence-only funding. Congress approved $176.83. In 2009, the Obama administration budgeted $114.5 million to support evidence-based programs. However, the majority of the funds were earmarked for replicating the same ineffectual programs. As of this taping, the quality or even presence of sexual education varies from state to state. 30 states mandate sexual education, and only 17 states require that the instruction be medically accurate. 17 of the states require inclusive content with regard to sexual orientation, but 6 states require only negative information to be provided and/or positive emphasis on heterosexuality. Additionally, the U.S. has one of the highest known rates of adolescent pregnancy and births amongst developed nations. Indeed, an adolescent girl in the U.S. is 4 to 5 times more likely to become pregnant or give birth than their Swedish counterparts. The United States also holds the dubious honor of having the highest STI rates in the developed world. We simply must do better for our nation. It starts with our youth, and luckily, we have an excellent model to base our programs on. And that concludes my sex education video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.